Welcome to the Lose Your Big Ass Stomach podcast. I'm your host, Jay Jackson, and my mission here is to help you get rid of that big ass stomach and take back control of your health so that you can look and feel your best by being the best version of yourself, mentally and physically, while destroying the mediocre agenda society is trying to brainwash you into, and breaking our families' generational curses of being unhealthy by being a healthy and fit role model. It's time to set a new standard. It's time to set a new standard of living. If you find the podcast helpful, be sure to hit that follow button because that helps us build a movement. Let's go.
If you've been trying to lose the belly fat and you're working out, you're dieting, maybe even taking supplements, but you're having a hard time being able to slim down your waistline, in this video I'm going to share with you if you're ignoring your energy needs, okay? I'm not just talking about eating healthy, but if you're ignoring your energy needs, guys, you could find yourself struggling to lose stubborn belly fat, the love handles, the lower back fat, the whole nine, okay? And so I'm going to show you how to fix this issue, what steps you want to pay attention to manage your energy. That way you have energy to be productive. That way you have the energy to enjoy time with your family and still slim down your waistline, okay? So the first thing is this, guys. What I see from most folks who are trying to lose belly fat, they're doing hours of cardio because they think that cardio is the main thing that's going to help them lose weight. But in reality, they find themselves burning out. They find themselves feeling like confused. They're like, damn, I'm doing all this cardio. Why isn't my stomach slimming down like I want to? I'm losing weight here and there, but why isn't my stomach going down? And that happens because you can't outwork poor nutrition habits, okay? I'm pretty sure y'all have heard the term calories. A lot of trainers and coaches and, fitness influencers, they'll throw this term around, calories. Calories is just a metric of energy, guys. That's all it is. Calories is energy. But not all calories are made equal, okay? Not all calories are made equal. And so what you want to do, you want to shift from just focusing on working out to understanding your energy needs as far as the quality of the foods that you're eating. That's the first thing, okay? Here's what I mean. If you're just eating salads, if you're just going out and you're eating a lot of processed food, fast food, these types of foods can tend to steal energy away from you if you're not eating the right type of salads. You have a lot of different seasonings and sauces and all that kind of stuff in there, right? No good. It's going to steal your energy away from you. And you'll wonder why your stomach isn't going down. What we want to do instead, we want to start focusing on the quality of the foods that you eat. I'm talking about things like eating soluble fats, okay? I'm talking about, and when I say soluble fats, I'm talking about healthy fats, guys. Things like walnuts, cashews, almonds, avocados, things like that are very important for our hormones, our mental health, and our overall health and well-being, okay? Having healthy fats is super important. It's critical. The other side of it, is, outside of the healthy fats, is protein. What I noticed from a lot of people, they're doing all this working out, they're focused on eating healthy, and they even start focusing on like calorie intake, but they're carb high. they have a lot of carbs in their diet, but the protein in their diet, barely any. They have a hard time hitting their protein goals, or they don't even know what a protein is. And that right there can cause you to have a hard time losing belly fat. And so things like chicken, eggs, egg whites, fish like salmon, these things are proteins. Guys, you need to have protein in your diet, not just for fat loss, but energy management. If you're the type of person you eat like bagels and donuts and waffles and croissants for breakfast, and then you go to work, you feel mentally drained, you're tired, you have brain fog, this is why. You're not eating enough protein. When you shift from eating a lot of those starchy carbs to eating more protein and healthy fats, guys, you're going to notice that you're going to have more energy. Not just physically, but also mentally, okay? And so it's not just calories, but it's the quality of the calories that you're eating, okay? And so just that simple shift, guys. I used to be that person. I used to go over to Chick-fil-A all the time. Get me a Chick-fil-A biscuit. I used to go to McDonald's, get me a sausage on the grill. Wonder why I'm feeling tired after I got done eating. I'm like, how in the world, if I just ate this meal, I'm sluggish and I feel like I had an itis. That's what some people call it. And it wasn't until I made the shift because I just got tired of feeling tired. I'm like, man, I'm too young to be feeling tired like this. What's going on? I'm not old. And so I started doing more research on eating and nutrition and all these types of things. And, I started eating more proteins for breakfast. I started eating more healthy fats for breakfast. I started eating more fibrous food for breakfast, which I'm going to share more about in just a second. Start having more energy, guys, physically and mentally. I don't have those sugar cravings later on in the evening. If you guys notice that you're eating breakfast, or maybe you're even skipping breakfast, which is another tip I'm going to give you in just a second. And then later on in the day, you're binge eating, or later on in the day, you find yourself having a lot of sugar cravings. It's because of how you're starting your day off. You're spiking your blood sugar and your insulin right out the bat. That's why you have these sugar cravings, guys. Okay? And so we want to start focusing on that quality. That's the first tip. The quality of the foods you eat, the quality of the energy that you're consuming, calories, energy. Okay? Second thing, and I was going to talk a little bit about fiber, right? So fiber, if you're not eating fruits and vegetables, and you're just eating a lot of starchy carbs like bagels, donuts, croissants, and footlongs from Subway, and you're wondering why you're tired in the middle of the day. You wonder why you have brain fog in the middle of the day. That is why. Okay? Instead, you want to start eating more fruits that have seeds in them. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, kiwi, things like that. Okay? But then also the vegetables. Green vegetables. Whichever ones you prefer, guys. We're grown, man. You got to eat vegetables. If you're just eating fast food every day just for the sake of eating fast food and it's convenient, this is how folks end up having high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, sleep apnea, okay? Heart disease. It's the quality of the foods you're eating, okay? So that's the first thing, the quality. The second thing is timing and frequency of your meals. I see a lot of people who slide in my inbox super busy, got demanding careers, and they tend to skip breakfast. Sometimes even skip lunch, and they'll just eat dinner. I had somebody the other day on one of my YouTube videos. They said, what do you think about if I just eat dinner every day and I don't eat breakfast and lunch? And I told the guy, I was like, listen, this is how a lot of folks develop like binge eating disorders, because they're not professionals. They don't understand what type of nutritional value and essentials that their body needs on a daily basis. So they find themselves being deprived. They have a lot of cravings. They have the low energy mentally and physically, feeling exhausted. And so in the evening, instead of eating a healthy meal, they ain't eating nothing healthy. They eating junk food. They eating pasta, pizza, burgers and fries, big bowls of cereal, chips. These are the types of foods that lead to these health issues. These are the types of foods that lead to abdominal obesity. I was doing some research the other day, and it said something like 39.1% of Americans have abdominal obesity. It's not just obesity, guys. Abdominal obesity. These types of things lead to heart disease. These types of things lead to strokes, high blood pressure, even type 2 diabetes. They're like cousins, guys. And so if you notice that you're already feeling tired, this low energy is also associated with our health, guys. Okay? So if you're always tired, not just physically, but mentally, it's something about your habits that you need to change to improve your health. Because once you start to improve your health, you can improve your energy. Very important, guys. Very, very important. And so you want to make sure that you're not skipping meals. You want to have a balanced eating regimen. Some of my clients, they eat 3 meals a day. Some of them eat 2 times a day, 2 meals a day. And they may have 1 or 2 snacks throughout the day. The amount of food that you eat, meals that you eat throughout the day, is going to be based on your lifestyle. It's going to be based on your preferences. There's certain days I eat breakfast, lunch, dinner. Then there's other days where I'll just eat brunch and dinner. And I may have 1 or 2 snacks. But what still stays the same is my daily calorie intake, my protein intake. If I'm eating 2 meals, my meal's just going to be a little bit bigger. If I'm eating 3 meals, my meals are going to be a little bit smaller. And, if I'm eating 2 meals, those snacks, they might be a little bit bigger. This is how you manage your energy. That way, you're not skipping meals, starving yourself. You're not skipping meals, being mentally exhausted, having brain fog because you're not supplying the right nutrients to your body and your brain to perform at a high level. Very important. Very important. Because when you don't get this, this is when your stress level goes up. And that stress level causes the binge eating. The stress level causes the sugar cravings, guys. Very important that you start paying attention to how not eating the right way is influencing your energy, physically and mentally. How not eating the right way, where you're starving yourself, causes high stress, meaning more cortisol. That's a hormone in our body that produces more fat. And so if you don't want to have the big stomach or the big ass stomach, you don't want the love handles, guys, you got to start improving these things by having more structure. Okay? And stop following these generic trainers who tell you, hey, you got to sell your soul to the chicken and broccoli diet. Hey, you got to eat 6-7 meals a day. Guys, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You just have to have systems in your life that support your way of living, the way you want to do things. And so that's why it's important to not do these generic meal plans and these cookie cutter workout plans, because it may lead to temporary results, but ultimately it leads you to feeling disappointed and discouraged because you can't keep the results. Okay? So, last thing is this, guys. Last thing is this. I get a lot of people who reach out to me who are already eating healthy, and they wonder why their stomach not slimming down. They're eating pretty much the same type of foods that I eat. Like when I get on these game plan calls with people who are inquiring about working with me, I'm like, man, you pretty much eat the same foods I'm eating, man. And what I see time and time again is that you're lacking structure. You're eating fish, you're eating chicken, you're what do you call it? You're sauteing it, you're grilling it, you're baking it. You're thinking consciously about eating good quality food, but you're still not losing belly fat. You're still not losing weight. And this comes from a lack of structure. Because when you don't have structure, that leads to inconsistency. What is inconsistency? Inconsistency is stepping on the scale one week and you see the weight go down. The next week, the weight then went back up. Now you frustrated. Now you confused because you're like, man, how is this? Man, I'm eating the same thing, man. I'm doing everything. If you that person, you lacking structure. And so structure is knowing your daily calorie intake to start losing weight, to slim down your waistline. Knowing the right amount of protein to eat on a daily basis to slim down your waistline and to lose weight. When you have these things, guys, it makes it so much easier to not just consistently have energy, but also consistently see progress. When you look at yourself in the bathroom mirror and when you step on the scale, you can't have that. You won't have that consistency if you're lacking consistency with the structure, with the habits, how much you're eating on a daily basis, your portions. Some of y'all are just guesstimating these things. I have people who are in my coaching program. There's one guy, Brandon. Brandon's down like 60, almost 70 pounds now. And at one point in the program, he had dropped about 25, 30 pounds, and he hit a plateau. And I was like, Brandon, like, based on what you're doing, I can see you still eating healthy. You know, I can see you being mindful, but it's time to really double down on the structure. You got to make sure your portions are on point. You got to be weighing the food. You got to be tracking the food. A lot of people, they try to stray away from these things, not realizing if you don't know how much you're eating and you're just eating healthy, just because you don't want to do it, don't mean there's not consequences of not wanting to do it. Like you going to work. You want to make the big bucks. You want to grow your business. You want to excel in your career, right? But let's say you don't want to go to work one day. You just don't want to show up for your team. It's consequences. So if you want your belly fat to go down, if you want to have a body that you're proud of, you want your clothes to fit well, you want to be able to feel proud and confident about taking photos, you have to do what is required, not when you just feel like doing it. Okay? There's always going to be things in life, guys, that we don't feel like doing. There's plenty of days I may not be in the mood or feel like shooting content, but I do it. You see what I'm saying? It's a necessary. It's a non-negotiable. You have to start looking at certain things that you do in your life as non-negotiables. You want to make sure you have food on the table for your family. You want to make sure you're living a certain quality of life. You're doing things that are non-negotiables that allow you to live that way. And so if you want to have a flat stomach, you want to be proud about how your body looking, you have to have non-negotiables with the way you eat. You have to have non-negotiables in your life with the way that you train. Not just going to the gym when you feel like it, and then not going when you don't feel motivated to go. It has to be a non-negotiable. This is what I call a lifestyle, okay? When you do this the right way, guys, this is how you don't just get results, but you can keep the results long term. Because there's a lot of people who reach out to me, they drop 20, 30, 40 pounds, they gain it back. Why does that happen? Because they didn't adopt the right lifestyle. Maybe they did a lifestyle, but they couldn't sustain it. Maybe they did the lifestyle of keto or the carnivore diet, but they got bored with it. They got tired of doing it that way. So that it wasn't sustainable, which is what I said earlier. Temporary results, disappointment, the yo-yo, right? So it's important to have something that supports you, supports your lifestyle. That way you can fuel your body to be able to accomplish all your life goals, okay? But other than that, guys, hopefully I found this helpful. With that said, we out of here. Let's get it.
Yo, appreciate you for tapping in and listening to the podcast episode today. Hopefully you found it valuable. And if you did and you want to learn more about how I can help you lose the big ass stomach, transform your body, and get your health on point, DM me real results over on Instagram at JJacksonOfficial for more information. And I'll reach back out to you to do what I can to help you hit those health and fitness goals. Let's get it.